I'm Matt.
And I'm Jackie.
And we're here today with Couple Chat, doing our matinee movie review of Deadpool 2.
Mind you, this is a spoiler-free review. We will not be spoiling anything. This is our initial reaction as individuals and a couple, and what we think the audience, you, should expect going into the movie.
Fuck it. It's showtime.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom.
Bring it on, One-Eyed Willie.
So my first impressions of the movie were pretty good for the most part. I enjoyed it, but I thought there were a few repeated things from the first film. Without getting into any spoilers, be prepared to see a couple of things that you've seen before, done a little differently, but I saw it very similar to something like Austin Powers.
Oh, behave. Yeah.
You're seeing similar jokes again in a little bit of a different context, but for the most part, it's the same thing.
I mean, the first time it was funny. This time it was funny. I'm hoping in the third one, if there is a third one, who knows, that could change.
This felt more like a Marvel movie to me than Deadpool did. I did like the first one, and I thought it was great and a nice disconnection from what Marvel usually does. And even, with Fox and X-Men.
I can see where you're saying that there is a Marvel movie feeling.
He felt more heroic in this than I think he did in the first one.
There's lots of violence, so for girls, if you're squeamish and you don't like certain things, if you didn't like the first one, you're not necessarily going to like the second. There are still a lot of those perfect Deadpool moments, and then there's a great story behind it, so that's what's really cool. The first one had a good story, but this one has an overarching, beautiful moral story that I really liked. There was a lot of comedy, and I love the pop culture references. Deadpool is known for pop culture references. The first one was chock full, and this did not disappoint. This had very similar, if not more, and it expanded even more on that universe, which I really loved about it. Me personally, I wouldn't say it's a good first date movie, because it's kind of one of those things where you would feel awkward laughing at stuff that's happening on the screen. So as a first date, guys, I wouldn't take your chick to see this. Like, go and see a chick flick, go and see Book Club, go and see something else that's out right now. I would not.
Book Club?
Yeah, it's the movie with all the old ladies. It's a new movie that came out this weekend too.
I would like to introduce you to Christian Grey.
Oh no, we started this book club to stimulate our minds.
From what I hear, this book is quite stimulating.
If you've both seen the first Deadpool and you liked it, it's not a bad idea to bring it up in conversation and be like, yeah, why not?
You don't think it would be a good first date movie, but it could be a good date movie in general.
I think it could. It's a funny, well-rounded story, and I think as a couple, it's nice to see that side of a person. The
way I think is, again, her and I have been going out, or we're married now, but her and I have been together for almost 10 years, but the way I see it is if I were going out with a girl to see this movie, and I laugh at something that is clearly either very funny to me, that references something like, Star Wars or something else, then, if I laugh and she doesn't, well, right there, that's an instant, like, well, I guess this is the last date. But
the touchy subject.
I'm just going to flat out say no. Deadpool is not your typical comic book movie. One, it's rated R. People take ratings for granted all the time, I feel like, and, the MPAA, they put ratings out for a reason. And I personally, from a moviegoer's perspective, and from someone who's a little older, I preferred there not be kids in a room where you're watching a movie like this. And I was sitting right next to a kid that had to have been 7 to 10 years old. And not that he did anything a kid would normally do, but it makes me feel awkward as a moviegoer. I'm sitting next to this kid watching moments in a movie that are either sexual, overly violent, just profanity, things that kids shouldn't see at that age. And I have a kid right here next to me, and that is in my mind. I'm thinking about that, like, oh, I wonder how this kid is reacting to this. Should he even really be here? So ultimately, I'd say Deadpool 2, just as you'd think with the first one, no. But I think at a young age, this is just not a movie that is even necessary to take kids to. Bring your kids to your parents' house, and go to the movies on your own for this one.
I agree, it isn't a family movie at all. Especially, well, I heard a kid across the auditorium that was loudly reacting to certain things. Like, they didn't understand, and even Infinity War had some moments like that where the rating just doesn't come across well. Because that was rated PG-13, and yet there's 5, 6, 7-year-olds in there, and it's like, they're reacting to certain things that happen, and you feel bad for them seeing these things. The parents should not have brought them there. And again, this is totally up to you as a parent. This is your judgment call. But if your 10-year-old has never seen a severed arm before, or has never seen a knife fight, or the first one, or any of these violent, the profanity, the sexuality, if they don't understand these things, there's no reason to expose it to them before they can even get the concept of life. So I completely agree that it's not a family movie, especially because the kid was right next to us, and the dad didn't seem fazed by any of it. No. So it was just, I don't know what the kid's seen before or what he'll see after. But for us as soon to be, hopefully in the future, parents, it's not something that we think as adults to be a smart move. Most Marvel movies do, which has become what us as an audience expect to see at the end of a Marvel movie. Deadpool has a mid-credit scene, which is, or a couple, whatever, which it means it's right after the beginning of the credits, and then the black and white screen rolls, and there's nothing at the end of the credit scene.
These mid-credit scenes are more towards what you saw at the end of Homecoming.
Hi, I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have: patience.
Rather than something that's going to really give you a nugget of a sequel or something like that. With Deadpool 2, I believe that the movie stands alone pretty well. You don't necessarily need to see the first one to understand what happens in this film. Does it help? Of course. I mean, you're not going to understand who Deadpool is exactly and his origins, but you could enjoy this movie without knowing those things. They go into enough detail on how his powers work. It may even be beneficial if you are a fan of X-Men films to catch up on a few of the X-Men movies too. It helped solidify Deadpool in that universe as opposed to the first one that was more so making fun of the X-Men universe.
I'm kind of torn about it because we did see it the day after it came out.
Sure.
So I don't know, honestly, if it was something that I needed to see right now, right then. But the internet can spoil things. Hence why we're doing spoiler-free reviews all the time. We don't want to spoil anything for audiences. But for Deadpool 2, I don't feel like it's necessary to go as soon as possible. I mean, it's great. Get out there, go to the movies to see it. It's funny. If you need an uplifting movie, it's great. Not necessarily something that it's like, oh my god, I'm afraid of spoilers. I have to have my blinders on and go see it now. It's something that I enjoyed seeing now, but I could have waited.
Deadpool 2 is a standard film. It wasn't shot in any special formats, no 3D, no IMAX.
So for me personally, my rating is a 7. It was great, and it made me laugh, and it made me feel a lot of emotions. Like I said, it did make me cry a little. But I feel like overall, with everything that we said about it, the date movie, is it a family movie, stuff like that, I feel like as a moviegoer, it's definitely on my absolute favorite, gotta go, gonna see it 6 times type of movie, like Force Awakens or something like that. But it definitely did stand out in sort of a, oh, I could watch that again and really laugh and actually have a good time watching it and not have to grit my teeth and be like, all right, Deadpool 2, let's go, you know? So for me, that's a 7.
My overall rating is an 8 out of 10, and I chalk that up to I did enjoy it more than the first one when it came to story, but I didn't enjoy some of the repetition from the first one, you know, a lot of repeated jokes and a few elements here and there. So I think that just took it down a peg for me. But ultimately, I think it's a great movie. It's very funny. There's good payoff from a lot of the things that had happened in the first one, or jokes that were made in the first one. So I think overall, an 8 out of 10 is where it stands for me.
Mm-hmm. Our overall score is a 7.5 here at Couple Chat, and we hope you enjoyed our non-spoiler movie review of Deadpool 2.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our first Couple Chat review. Please like and comment below.
Subscribe to our page so that you can see our review about Solo, A Star Wars Story, and many movies to come this summer.